Chapter 61. This is a bank robbery. After receiving a hard slap from Riel, Hyun-ki was startled. He felt guilty for what he had done to Riel. It was not his plan to harass or anger Riel, but he thought he missed her so much. But his action was unthinkable. Riel was furious. "I don't want to see you ever, Mr. Han. This is the last. Let us not cross paths again," she said in a low, harsh tone. Meanwhile, everyone in the bank was focused on their transactions, when suddenly, four armed hooded men entered the bank with the security guards under gunpoint, and then pushed them to the floor. The man with the gray hood shouted, "This is a bank robbery," pointing his rifle upward. All the people inside got shaken and terrified, screaming and becoming chaotic in their movements. The hooded gunman demanded the employees and clients group together. Incidentally, inside the bank, Akio was to withdraw money for his employees' salaries. He became worried for Riel. He was looking for Riel but could not see her by her desk. He did not move far from Rieler's place to protect her. They demanded to put all the money and their possessions in the black backpacks they previously carried. When Riel walked into the bank's hall, unaware of the happenings, she saw hooded men in the center of the bank's lobby. With quick thinking, she immediately walked away, but was caught by the man in the gray hood, caught her by the hair and pulled her into the center. At the same time, Hyun-ki was about to rescue Riel when another hooded man grabbed him. Hyun-ki fought, but he got quickly subdued when the hooded robber struck him with his pistol, knocking him down. One hooded gunman approached Riel and grabbed her hand, saying, "I'll take you with us as our hostage." Upon hearing the gunman's intention, Akio Hino jumped over the robber and was about to grab the gun. Still, the gunman was quick enough to fend Akio off, which gave him the advantage of unmasking the gunman. Riel was shocked, because she recognized the man who had made a scandal this morning. "Why you? So, you just pretended to be a depositor only to spy on us?" cried Riel in a guttural tone. The gunman pounded Akio's nape, taking him off balance, and angrily said, "Why, you troublemaker? Now that you've seen my face, there's no reason why I should spare you and get what you deserve." Akio pleaded, "Please leave the lady. Take me instead for ransom. I can be a better hostage than her." Riel was fighting off her predator and telling Akio not to negotiate with them. Still, one of the hooded men grabbed Akio and said, "Yeah, this is a good idea. Huh? Together with this beautiful lady, we'll take you for ransom," pulling him in. "What? You can't do this. Leave her and take me instead," I said, Akio protested, but they all laughed and pulled them out by the bank's back door. Meanwhile, as the robbers were collecting their loot and tying their hostages with one loop, Hyun-ki, lying face down, got his mobile phone from his chest pocket, pretending to be completely knocked down, and dialed Juni's phone and left it open. "Hello, sir." While waiting for Hyun-ki's response, he heard the robbers' voices. He was startled, then spoke. "Sir, tell me what to do." Hyun-ki spoke softly, putting the phone close to his mouth as he covered it with his hand. "Drive the car behind the building, but remain incognito. Could you get the car number and stay put until I leave? I fear for my Riel." Juni drove the car far from the bank's gate for employees, quietly got off, hid by the car's front side fender, then observed. A black van stopped before the robbers, held Akio Hino and Riel as their hostages. Juni was shocked to see Riel forcibly pulled out of the building, but he could not recognize the other male hostage, so he told Hyun-ki about Rieler's situation. Hyun-ki was troubled and petrified. Meanwhile, the robbers pushed Akio Hino to the van's floor, tied him and Riel, and made her sit between the two thieves. "What a stroke of luck. I got the most beautiful and sexy lady I encountered this morning." The robber devilishly laughed as he touched Rieler's face with his nose, sniffing her, and said, "You smell so good, girl. Let me see your name." He looked at her ID card and said, "Gabrielle. What a nice name. A fighter's name. Huh? Let me see how good you fight when in bed," the robber said, which frightened Riel and cried, "Oh my God." Riel prayerfully cried. Juni took a photo of the getaway van's plate number and saw what the robbers were doing as he talked to Hyun-ki. "Sir." Riel was taken with a man and tied up. They were about to leave. "Sir." Hyun-ki was waiting for that word as his signal to stand up. He rose and went to the manager, untied her, then asked how he could get out of the building the same way the robbers did, while briskly walking towards her table to press the emergency button. The bank security gave his ID and said, "Tap this on the system, and it will automatically open." Hyun-ki ran out of the gate towards his car, and Juni quickly started the engine. Simultaneously, Mrs. Echeverria called the police for assistance and backup for Hyun-ki, who was on the robbers' trail. The black van immediately escaped from the bank without much effort. Unbeknownst to them, Hyun-ki and Junie were inconspicuously on their trail. The black van entered a dusty, rough, and secluded hidden place and, as far as it may seem, looked like an abandoned mill. Junie parked the car far from the curve. Hyun-ki thought of taking his golf club from the car's trunk and give the other one to Junie. Then they padded through the grasses to remain unnoticed. Inside the abandoned mill, the armed robbers, they forcibly pulled Riel from her seat and Akio from the van's floor, who incidentally pretended to have been knocked down completely. So when they pulled him out, Akio Hinode got the advantage to give them a quick sidekick and a maeshigeri, which made the two robbers fell and defenseless. But unfortunately, Akio was superseded quickly by the third robber, hitting him by the head again, falling to the ground helplessly, and making Riel scream louder, calling for Akio's name. Meanwhile, Hyun-ki and Junie were helplessly observing, thinking of a way to unarm and defeat these criminals. Before attacking the robbers, Hyun-ki took his phone and called Hwonchul for police assistance. Hyun-ki gave the direction and requested that the police come quietly, without the necessary sirens, not to alarm these robbers, for they might end up killing their hostages for their escape. Inside the mill, the robbers pushed Akio and gagged him into a corner while they placed Riel on a chair, her hands tied behind her back, with a handkerchief in her mouth, to keep her from screaming. "Your beautiful body will not shrivel, because I'll use you now before you die," threatened the wicked armed robber, who had previously made a scene at the bank, and turned out to be the leader. He kept making advances on her, kissing her neck, touching her thighs, while Riel was screaming and sobbing helplessly and disgustingly, cursing at him while trying to steer her body and face away from the robber. Hearing Rieler's frightening screams made Hyun-ki more uneasy but braver. The other men were devilishly laughing while watching the shamelessness done to Riel. Suddenly, Akio regained consciousness and loathed what they were doing with Riel, so he shouted and implored their leader to stop harassing Riel. "Please stop. I implore you," Akio cried out of pity for Rieler's tragic and distressing situation. "Please stop it. You need money. I'll give you what you want. I am a very wealthy businessman and own many properties and wealth. I would give it to you. Just stop what you are doing to her. Have mercy on her, please." Akio was whimpering and begging. One of the robbers approached him and said, "Whom do you say you are? Huh? You're wealthy? Prove it." The man took Akio's wallet and ransacked every side of his wallet, throwing out every single thing in it until he came across a business card, stating, "Akio Hinode, CEO Hinode Group of Companies, builder and developer." The men grouped and looked at his business card, unbelieving at first. Then their leader spoke. "Yes, I am familiar with this company, and you are filthy rich Japanese. Huh? Well, tell me then, what can you give us now, at this instance? Huh? At this very moment, so I will stop doing bad things to your girlfriend, and run away as fast as we can from this darn situation, and perhaps leave you alive too. Tell me. Now, could Akio Hinode save Riel and himself from these ruthless robbers? Keep following me on my YouTube channel and TikTok for the Windows of the Heart series with more exciting episodes. Thank you.